Are they spineless or are they corrupt? Well, it appears that Thomas Massie is in trouble. Donald Trump and Miriam Adelson are trying to remove Thomas Massie from his seat. Now I wonder, why? Why could it be that they want Thomas Massie gone? Here's probably why. This was Thomas Massie fairly recently on Theo Vaughn talking about AIPAC and Israel. Check this out.
Like Israel is a fair ally? Are they a good ally for us?
Well,
or is that too general of a question?
Well, I think it doesn't matter. Like, there's no big, giant Great Britain lobby. There's no Australian lobby. There's no German lobby.
Oh, the other countries don't have them.
No, not like this. This is singular. This is unique. I mean, if you're an ally, why wouldn't we work with you? Why do you have to convince us that you're our ally? Why do you have to basically go into every congressional office and convince them? And it's because they want to keep the money flowing. And that they've got a good return on their investment. I mean, we send more foreign aid to Israel than to any other country.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys think about it, it's like paying someone to be your friend. It's like if someone is already your friend, but they're like, in order for us to keep this relationship, you're going to have to give me some money. It sounds crazy when you think about it, right? That's us in Israel.
They're, like 10 million people or something.
Yeah, I think
Tennessee, I don't know the population in Tennessee, but it's probably about, on that order.
Yeah, I think this year they said we spent like $12 billion, but that's not actual dollars. It's in military aid, right?
Yeah, it's it's dollars
like
that comes out of the treasury.
Stuff?
Yeah, but it's not like we give them. It's a gift certificate that's redeemable at Lockheed Martin and your local Raytheon.
Okay, got it. So that's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Why do they have this carve out that's just for them? What do we get from Israel, do you feel like?
We got a lot of countries that hate us. Is one of the things we get.
Well, especially right now with this stuff in Gaza, I think it's one of the worst PR campaigns I've ever seen in my life. If they're even, doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, I just don't, it gives their government this extremely evil look to me, and I think to a lot of people,
Well, rough numbers, there are 2 million people in Gaza and 50,000 have been killed. That's 2.5%. Like, they've killed 1 in 40 people in Gaza.
And that's the amount on record. But if we were to do the math with the number of bombs that have dropped and, of course, starvation that has happened in Gaza as well, if I had to estimate, I would estimate at least 400,000 people have been killed in Gaza.
If you did that in the United States, if you did 2.5% of 350 million, it'd be almost 10 million people dead in the United States. Everybody in Gaza is at this point related to somebody who's been killed. Like at least the first cousin you had killed. And then if you say how many have been maimed, it's probably 3 or 4 times that. So everybody in Gaza knows people who've been killed and maimed.
And we're supporting it, right? That's also the part that makes it really tough sometimes to just be a person. It's like our tax money is going towards this. But I just hope that people in some of these other countries know that, it's not regular everyday people who would want to do these things, that it's like governments making these choices and it's corporate interests that make these choices. How would we stop it? Well, do we need this connection with Israel? What is it? No one ever explains what it's for, I feel like, right? That would help everybody have a much better understanding, because it starts to feel like America is just a shell company, an LLC for Israel. That's what it starts to feel like a lot of times, do you?
That's a good way of putting it. I refer to it as a military base.
Do you feel like that's realistic, or do you feel like that's off base?
I wouldn't send him a dime. Like, that's my position. I don't think whatever we're getting isn't worth it. And don't ask me to articulate the benefit, because I think the cost is greater than the benefit. Everybody in Gaza is at this point has to hate Israel, right? And by extension, those bombs, when they see American politicians go over there and sign the freaking bombs that are going to kill women and children,
What do we actually? There was just a clip with Ted Cruz that came up. Can you see if you can find that, Trevin? Where Tucker Carlson was interviewing Ted Cruz. Let me see. This is a scary interview. During the Tucker Carlson interview with Ted Cruz, it's confirmed Israel's version of the CIA called Mossad spies. Oh, it's about spying. It's like what we get. Let's just watch it for a second.
Yeah.
Does Mossad share all of its intelligence with us?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. We don't share all of our intelligence with them, but we share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Do they spy domestically in the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And friends and allies spy on each other, and I assume all of our allies spy on us.
That's okay with you?
You know what? One of the things about being a conservative is that you're not naive and utopian. You don't think humans are all. Part of the reason socialism doesn't work is the mantra from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs doesn't work. As a conservative, I assume people act in their rational self-interest.
So it's conservative to pay people to spy on you?
It's conservative to recognize that human beings act in their own self-interest, and every one of our friends spies on us. And I'm not.
Do you like it? That's my question. I'm not asking whether they have motive to do it. Of course they do. I understand that, and
by the way,
I'm not mad at them. And you're an American lawmaker, so I just want to know. Hold on, I want to know your attitude. Yeah. You said that your guiding principle, in fact, the only principle, the only criterion.
I said guiding, the overwhelming. I wouldn't say only.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
It is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get.
What do we get? That's the thing.
It's painful to watch that. So when I'm in a room with somebody and they say, "Can I talk to you?" Just frankly, is anybody listening? I say, well, there's 3 nation states plus our own in my phone.
Yeah.
There's going to be Russia, China, and Israel.
They're in our phone?
No, not yours. Like, it's a lot of effort anybody can be hacked. Okay.
Oh, I thought one of the reasons I got to go to Qatar recently, and I wonder if they hacked my phone. I thought they were good. I don't know if that's crazy.
I think it's probably continuously hacked. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. It just seems like everything's hacked.
You guys get the point there. Anyway, Thomas Massie has been speaking out very heavily about U.S. money going to Israel. And from what I understand, just in general, he's not in favor of U.S. money going towards wars, going to other countries. The one thing I agree with Thomas Massie on is ending the wars, right? So he's never been in favor of that. He's an MIT guy. He's looking at the math of it all. He does get into like the debt and the deficit. That I will say that modern monetary theory tells us that there is no debt ceiling, that's a myth. I would say if I ever spoke to Thomas Massie, I would tell him that the government can simply just mint a coin to wipe out that debt. The government can mint a coin to wipe out the student loan debt. That's the modern monetary theory, MMT. But nevertheless, here's the problem. Because Thomas Massie has been so vocal about the money going to Israel and ending these wars, Donald Trump has gotten together with Miriam Adelson to get him out of that seat. And she is donating a lot of money, millions of dollars, to get Thomas Massie out of that seat. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not a Republican, but this is wild. This isn't even AIPAC. This is just one person, Miriam Adelson. So let's get into her a little bit, shall we? Dr. Simon Gadek, really good here. You're being played by a billionaire casino queen you probably never voted for, but who shapes your country future anyway. Let's talk about Miriam Adelson. Born in Israel, she built her fortune off Las Vegas gambling, a business model that profits from people losing control of their money. She owns over half of Las Vegas Sands and recently bought the Dallas Mavericks. Miriam is not someone cheering with you in the stands. This is the person cashing out behind the curtain while you scream at a screen or lose your savings out of desperation or addiction. So Miriam Adelson makes a lot of money off of sports gambling. Remember that when you continue to see like these the sports betting ads, which are popping up everywhere now? Remember that. Miriam isn't just rich. The problem is that she's extremely well connected. During his last trip to Israel, Trump said that she was probably the person who walked into the White House the most during his presidency. And for good reason. She donated over $100 million to his campaign. When she wants to influence something, she writes a check and walks straight through the front door of the Oval Office. But here's where it gets even worse. While you pay your taxes, she uses every tool in the book not to pay hers. Trusts, foundations, layered corporate entities, all perfectly legal, all perfectly designed to shield wealth, reduce taxes, and consolidate power. So the money she does not pay in taxes becomes your burden. Now, see what I mean when I say who the real enemy? The real enemy is the people at the top. So the money she doesn't pay in taxes becomes your burden. And meanwhile, she lobbies hard to make sure that the little money you earn, the hard-earned taxes you pay, get sent abroad to Israel, her country of birth. Let that sink in. She makes her money in America. She pays as little tax as possible. She walks into the White House whenever she pleases, and she helps funnel billions of your tax dollars to a foreign country whose interests she prioritizes. And it gets even worse. She's also a prominent supporter of AIPAC. She's involved in Zionist political organizations that shape U.S. foreign policy. She is a key donor behind efforts to primary Congressman Thomas Massie, one of the few voices in Congress who dared to question blind loyalty to Israel, and all of this while running casinos. Let's be brutally honest. Gambling is degeneracy. It feeds on addiction, drains the desperate, and robs the weak. It's legal parasitism. The house always wins, and Miriam Adelson is the house. Now she owns your basketball team. Now she's helping pick your politicians. Now she's shaping your foreign policy. And now she's doing all of that while carefully navigating a system designed to make sure people like her never really pay their share. This is not a conspiracy theory. Look it up. It's all public information. And if you haven't understood it, let me spell out the obvious for you one more time. You're cheering for a team. She might move to another city tomorrow. You're placing bets that feed her degeneracy gambling empire. You're paying taxes she avoids. You're funding foreign interests you never consented to. So you see, Miriam Adelson, Donald Trump, they are working together. She has donated millions of dollars to unseat Thomas Massie because he doesn't follow her plan here for Israel and he doesn't support her precious Israel. When I say they're bought, they're all bought. And because Thomas Massie is willing to speak out and up and against it, they're targeting him. And it's only a matter of time. And this is something I got to make very clear. The Republican Party seems like it's at a crossroad right now where there is a portion that is speaking out against this, like Thomas Massie, and are like, hell to the no. Why are we giving all this money to Israel? We need to take care of the problems that we have here at home. Then there is the other portion, which are like, well, no, we got to support Israel because that's what I was told to do. Or they're evangelical Christians and they're told we got to support Israel because of the Bible and the rapture, which I told you guys before. I'm going to do a part 2 about that. I told you guys before what they're saying about the Bible isn't true, but that's what they were told. This whole idea, this whole Judeo-Christian, all this kind of stuff, this is literally the biggest scam in the world, all to get you to support this state of Israel that you don't even live in because of something that is said in the Bible about a rapture. And we had a conversation before about who the real people are. And this woman sitting up there and she's padding her pockets. and she was born in Israel, but she got all this influence in American electoral politics. So this is a problem. And this is why, you really cannot be supporting these politicians who are taking money from the Israeli lobby, period. She's over here cashing checks and making demands. And if you don't, this is the real president of the United States. Does everybody understand? The president of the United States right now is not Donald Trump, it's Miriam Adelson. Maybe we could say Benjamin Netanyahu is her first man. But this is really who running shit. Her, the bankers, and all the other billionaires. And all of this is done under this disguise of religion. Even though Israel is a secular state. This same woman just recently gave an award to Elise Stephanik. Look at this. Let me show you what's going on. Elise Stephanik received the Zionist Org of America's award for selling out the First Amendment and America to Israel. And Elise Stephanik is running for governor against Kathy Hochul. I want you guys to hear what she said to Elise Stephanik. This is Miriam Adelson. This is the president of the United States.
I want to wish you congratulations on receiving the ZOA's Mort Zuckerman's Maccabees Warrior Award for good leadership and for your fight against Israel and Jew hatred on colleges' campuses. I want to tell you that when I heard you talking to the head of the universities, I said to myself, she has the guts to say the truth. How could we come to a period when we don't have guts to say this truth?
She didn't have guts. That's what she was paid to say. Look how much money she takes from AIPAC. There she is with the ADL. So it's not about her having no guts. That's what she was paid to say. So now you see Elise Stephanik also. Why are you doing all this for another country? And I've said this before. If Israel is so great, why are you not living there, boo? Why are you living here? I think you would probably do Israel very proud. Why are you living here? If Israel is so great, a great place to be. Pulling the strings. They want Elise in. They want Thomas Massie out. And he's not the only one. And I'm going to give you a warning about another one that's coming down the pipeline if you guys pay very close attention. Donald Trump is now attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Listen to this.
I passed a great, big, beautiful bill, which is the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. So when somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's now catering to the other side, I don't know what, I guess she's, got some kind of vernacular, but I'm surprised at her. But when somebody like Marjorie goes over and starts making statements like that, it shows she doesn't know. I passed a great, big, beautiful.
So first of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene hasn't really attacked Donald Trump like that. She said, well, I disagree with the president's decision on this, but notice she always says she supports him. Always says that. And here's Donald Trump trying to make it seem like it's something more than anything. And so this is the call that I got to make. And people say this with me to Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie's been pretty vocal against Donald Trump. I'll take that back. To Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you need to call out Donald Trump. And no, it may not be, the best thing, the most popular thing in the party. But Marjorie Taylor Greene needs to call out Donald Trump. Don't just call out the economics. Don't just call out people in my district need health care. You need to call out Donald Trump. Because here's the thing. Word on the street has it that Marjorie Taylor Greene is interested in running for president in 2028. Let me go ahead and tell you something now. You think Miriam Adelson coming after Thomas Massie with millions of dollars, how much you think she going to put up against Marjorie Taylor Greene? And Donald Trump will be right behind her. He'll start with the smearing. She'll provide the money. So MTG needs to call out Donald Trump. Thomas Massie, I don't know, man. Like, it just, I know he's been calling out Trump on Twitter and saying, like, why are you going after me like this? This is ridiculous. I've seen that over and over again. But I really do feel as though that segment of the Republican Party that does not want money going to Israel, wants to end the wars. I think all of those people need to get together and they really need to call out Donald Trump. There is strength in numbers. There is strength in numbers. I said this under the Biden administration. Under the Biden administration, I said all the progressives in Congress need to get together, form a coalition, and call Biden's ass out. And it didn't work the way that I wanted it to. Rashida Tlaib was pretty much the first one to call him out and be very vocal about the genocide. But the others kind of trickled in a little bit later on, but they didn't do it as a group, like a bam. You know what I mean? Because the reality, Trump is going to continue doing like what he's doing because that's what he's paid to do. He got that money from Miriam Adelson as well. Miriam Adelson, Donald Trump, they're corrupt. They're not spineless. But I think one of the things that gives them power is if you're a part of their party and you know what they're doing is wrong and you don't call them corrupt. Don't say that Donald Trump is making mistakes. Don't say that Miriam Adelson is making mistakes. Call these people corrupt. And I think for whatever reason, people are afraid to use that C word. And I think about something else. Someone just said it in the chat. Where is it, Guru? Here's a way that they could get back on the swing of things. If Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, if they teamed up together, someone else had mentioned this as well, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie for 2028. Now, they wouldn't be my group to vote for. But the thing is this, they power in numbers. They already working together on the Epstein files. And they would be able, I think, to capture that group of, Trump supporters that don't want to support Israel, don't want the money going to Israel. That's just my take on it. Because here's the thing. That's millions of dollars going against Thomas Massie. We don't know if he's going to keep his seat or not. Maybe he might be able to withstand it. We don't know. But what's insane is that more people who are members of the Republican Party don't have his back, at least not publicly. And to me, if you can say it in private, but you can't say it publicly, then you don't need to be trusted anyway. People have got to break the chain. Break the chain. There's a song about that. It's a song, I think it's a gospel song. Break every chain. That's what they got to do. Because this is crazy. Donald Trump has lost his fucking mind. Miriam Adelson has her hand in so many different cookie jars. And nobody's standing up to her the way that they should. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.